Welcome to Gentle Yoga. I'm Ariele. I'm a physical therapist and yoga teacher. So you'll be in good hands for the next hour, next 45 minutes. Let's start in seated. And if you like, you can use your blanket or you can use a block right under your hips. And some of the things to look for a comfortable seat are that your knees are below the height of your hips. You can place a hand on your low back and you should feel just a little curve forward, the lumbar lordosis. And when you have that lumbar lordosis, it helps everything to stack really well. Bring your ears back over your shoulders. Shoulders relaxed, chest open. Allow your eyes to close, and I recommend taking stock of your breath. Just notice your inhale, your exhale. Notice even if you're feeling anxious or stressed or really anything. And welcome all aspects of yourself, all parts of yourself, anything that you're feeling with you onto the yoga mat today. We're going to take a deep breath in together and let out a big sigh. Do that again. Deep breath in. This is our cleansing breath. So big sigh out allows you to drop into a deeper state of tending befriend. Parasympathetic side of the nervous system. Let's begin to roll the shoulders. You can squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears, back and down. If you prefer to have your eyes open, you can keep them just a little bit cracked, looking past the edge of your nose. Let's do about 2 or 3 more circles in this direction. And then move in the other direction. So up, forward, and down. Up, forward, and down. Forward, down. Press your palms together over your heart. Inhale, chin up. And let's get on our backs. We're going to start with a little bit of gentle motion. So you'll have a block or 2 blanket and an optional bolster. So roll yourself down onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest and begin to rock a little bit side to side. Let both of your knees drop over to the right. Arms open into a T shape. And turn your gaze the opposite direction of your gaze, over to the left. 2 to 3 breaths right here. Please bring your chin back to center. Draw your knees back to center. And let your knees drop over to the other side, over to the left side. So you turn your gaze past the right, arms open wide. Let the knees be heavy, the breath be full, the eyelids heavy. Inhale, bring your chin back to center. Please bring your knees back to center. Give yourself a big hug, wrapping the arms around the knees. And please straighten your right leg out on your yoga mat. Bring your hands to the back of the left thigh. And you're going to straighten and bend the left knee a couple of times. And it's totally fine if it doesn't go perfectly straight. You can point your toes, you can flex your toes, you can do something in between called the float. And then just let the leg go in the direction of straight and hold it there for a few breaths. Make the right leg active, firm on the yoga mat, inner thigh down. then draw your knee back into your chest, or your right knee into your chest. Rock a little side to side. And stretch your left leg out, right leg up, bend and straighten the right knee a couple of times. Go ahead and fully straighten the right leg, pointing or flexing the foot, or both. And then breathe 2 to 3 breaths into the back of this leg. Good, please draw both knees into your chest. Open your knees out like a diamond shape. So the soles of your feet are touching and the knees are wide open, and you're gonna reach between your legs and grab hold of your ankles. So start to pull your heels in close to your chest, rocking your knees and your pelvis just a little bit side to side. Exactly. Let the heels lift up a little bit away from your hips. Bring them a little closer to your chest, a little closer to your low ribs. Opening the diamond, making the diamond taller. Good. And then stretch your right leg out to the side. Your legs are gonna end up looking like a big check mark. And the secret here is to keep your pelvis neutral on the floor. So it involves just a little bit of core stability, a little bit of a sense of zipping up through the belly. So right leg out. You can bring a right hand, instead of keeping it on the foot or the ankle, you can bring it to the inner thigh. And then just don't let that leg pull your whole body over. Full breath in, full breath out. Go ahead and draw your knee back in, sole of the foot back together, and then left leg moves out to the side like a check mark. Left hand to the inside of the left leg. Create a sense of zipping up through the belly. Excellent. 2 more breaths right here. Try to spread the toes of your left leg. Please come back to center. Both knees into your chest. And roll to one side, pushing up. We're gonna come onto hands and knees. Spread your fingers really wide. Set your hands right under your shoulders. If you're feeling any discomfort in your wrists, you can also double your yoga mat. And from this little folded yoga mat position, you put the heels on the folded part, heels of the hands, and curl your fingers down into the floor. So that's if your wrists get tired at all. On your inhale, belly down, chest forward, and really lean into the hands a little bit. Make sure there's some weight in your fingertips. And on your exhale, scoop from the abdomen and round towards the sky. Inhale, belly down, heart forward. Exhale, round up to the sky. Feel free to close your eyes as you do this little cat and cow. You can have your toes tucked or untucked. And after your next exhale, inhale to a neutral spine. Reach your left leg up behind you, hip height, and create a sense of zipping up through the belly, right? So your low ribs, instead of sagging, they're gonna poof up towards the ceiling a little bit. Bring the right arm by your ear, palm faces in. And create so much energy out from the toes of that left leg back, right arm forward. Yeah, exactly, we'll make it easier. Broaden at the low back and keep the back of the neck still up. So for most of us, it's really creating a fierceness in the middle of the back. And the longer we hold this, you might be noticing the harder it gets. So last little cue, squeeze the leg into the midline. If I try to pull your leg away, don't let me move you. Exactly. Exhale, lower it down through the knee, lower down through the arm. And we're gonna do the other side. So from here, right leg lifts up. Make it right about at hip height. Now there's a tendency to turn your toes out, so make sure that they're turned down. That's also known as inner thigh up. There's a tendency to back bend here and sway your low back, so make sure that you're scooping and that all of these muscles are firing. And left arm forward, palm faces in. So much energy from your fingertips to your toes. Squeeze everything to this imaginary midline, like the line that is from your nose to your belly button. Squeeze it in. 3, 2, inhale, hand down, knee down. Open your knees a little bit wide apart from one another. We're going to do a toe-tucked child's pose. So bring your toes to touch one another and curl all of your toes under. This can have the effect of opening up the soles of the feet. And at any point during our practice today, if you need a rest, you can fold forward and rest your forehead on the back of your hands with or without the toes curled under. You can also do child's pose with your knees wide the way I'm showing right now. And that's really nice to have a neutral back. You can see that I might even have like a little curve in my back here. But you can bring your knees together and it will stretch a little bit of the muscles of the low back by rounding the low back ever so gently towards the ceiling. So slight variation in knees wide versus knees together. One more breath in child's pose wherever you are. And inhale, we're going to come right back up to table. So I want to play today with a little bit of crawling motion. You're just going to lift one knee and down, and the other knee straight up and down. One knee straight up and down, and the other knee straight up and down. The tendency that our bodies have is to take it out to the side, so try to make sure you're going straight up and down, and straight up and down. And then do the hands. So you're going to lift one arm straight up and down, and then the other arm straight up and down. One arm straight up and down, and then the other arm straight up and down. And now we're going to add it all together. So opposite knee and arm. Lift it up like you're suctioning. And you might feel a little bit unstable here, which is actually exactly the idea, that we're working on the muscles of deep stability in the spine. Deep stability in the hips, and even in the shoulder and the shoulder blade. Creating a coordinated, functional movement, starting on hands and knees. Notice your breath. And one more time, each side. Everything suctions straight up, straight down. Curl your toes under. Sit back, walk your hands forward a little bit. Curl your fingers into the floor and lift your wrists off, yeah. And if you're using that fold of your yoga mat here, you can have the folded part right under the heel of your hands. Make sure your hands are shoulder distance apart, not too wide, not too narrow. Base of the fingers root down. Base of the hand roots down as well. Curl everything in, rise up to downward facing dog. If this is your first downward facing dog of the day, then feel free to shorten up your down dog. Feel free also to bend one knee and bend the other. Inside a down dog, create a lot of length from your fingertips to your hips and down the back of your hips, down through the heels. And I'll give you some tips on how to do that in just a moment. From downward facing dog, please begin to walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Once you're at the back of your yoga mat, take a purposeful, intentional bend in your knees. Catch hold of your elbows and shake your head a little left and right. So when you bend your knees, you want to aim to get your belly on your thighs. Bend your knees that much, belly on your thighs. Yeah, feel free to have some space. Still at the back of the mat. Inhale. Let your fingertips rest on your shins. This is called Ardha Uttanasana, or halfway up. Fingers rest on the shins. Maybe on the floor if you happen to have very open backs of the legs. And then exhale, fold it down, and walk yourself right back out to downward facing dog. Bend your right knee, take a deep breath. Straighten your right leg, bend your left knee, and take a deep breath. We're going to walk in a really slow motion to the very front of the yoga mat. So have each step just be about 2 to 3 inches in length, never fully surpassing the other foot. of the legs as you move yourself to the front of your yoga mat. From the front, 20% or maybe 30% of your yoga mat, hang forward, bend your knees as much as you need to, and this is your body's built-in spinal traction capacity. So you don't have to buy a fancy inversion machine. You can just really let yourself hang, but in the most gentle way with your knees bent. Shake your head out. The head weighs about 13, 15 pounds, and so that's gonna have a nice gentle tug on your spine. And on your inhale, rest your fingers on your shins and rise halfway up. Fingers rest again. So this is Ardha Uttanasana. Scooping the belly, finding a little bit of a back bend here. Exhale, fold. And from this place of rootedness through the legs, open your arms, rise up into palms together overhead and over your heart. Mountain pose, Tadasana. We'll take a couple of really gentle rounds of the sun salute. On your inhale, arms up. And on your exhale, arms open, fold from the hips. Feel free to bend your knees here. Inhale, halfway up. You can rest your fingertips on blocks if you'd like, on the top, low, middle, or tall position of the blocks. And exhale, bend your knees and set yourself back for downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank just for a moment, and then lower to your knees. So for this first round, we're going to do knees, chin, and chest. Hips stay high to the sky. All the way to the belly. Make your legs strong. Glue your toenails to the floor. And then float your hands up so that you're waking the muscles of the upper back. The secret here is to keep the back and neck long, so you end up looking at the floor, but to also feel your kneecaps lift up off the floor. Exhale, hands down. Float through table, downward facing dog. And enjoy your breath. Let it be steady inside a down dog. Some of the secrets to get your heels closer to the floor are to try to activate them. So feel the toes start to try to lift off the floor. That will activate your shins, and also from here, take another slow motion walk to the front of the yoga mat. You can do the same, like 3-inch step, 3-inch step, 3-inch step that we did a moment ago, or you can cross thigh over thigh. This is what I call braiding of the legs. I've also heard it called cross-referencing. And when you cross thigh over thigh, it gets to a broader range of the muscles and soft tissue at the back of the legs. When you land at the very front of your yoga mat, have your feet parallel to one another. Inhale, scoop the belly, come up halfway. Shoulder blades back, heart forward. Exhale, bend the knees, just hang the head, and then root through the legs to rise up, arms go wide. Palms press together overhead and over your heart. Inhale. Exhale. Fold from the hips. Soft bend in the knees. This is really one of my favorite poses, Uttanasana. Notice if there's any part of you that can let go a little more. Hang the head, shake it a little left and right. Grab your elbows, let the arms be heavy here. And again, halfway up, you're gonna lift your heart, have your fingertips rest on your shins, lean into it a little bit. And then exhale, blocks are optional here. Step your right foot to the back of the yoga mat. So start in a lunge position, right? If you have your hands on the blocks, then you have a little more space for this front hip to fold. Yeah, right. And again, you can have them in any of the heights. You can have them low, the middle, or the tall. And if you don't need the blocks, feel free to come onto the floor. Shift forward and back using your back foot like a gas pedal. And then keeping the legs really strong. Scoop your belly, rise up. Let's come into crescent lunge. So you can place your palms together overhead or arms apart. Begin pinching in your shoulders and take the arms a little wide As you exhale, right hand down to the inside of the leg, left arm to the sky. And exhale, hands down to the floor. Please step back to plank. So since this is a gentle class, there are no mandatory chaturangas. If you really want to take one, please do. Otherwise, knees down version, or knees, chin, and chest version like we did last time. From here, little cobra, so just a little higher than last time. Elbows bend, squeeze them in, lift your chest, look over your left shoulder, and look over your right shoulder. And back to neutral, lengthen, and walk the hands back. Float through table, curl toes, down dog. So downward facing dog is kind of a check-in pose where it's really vital to just notice your breath, to be still for about 3 to 5 breaths. The fidgeting and any kind of gentle movements, what I call micro movements within the pose, are also really welcome. But simply be aware if it's something you're doing habitually versus something that feels really good. So sometimes just aiming for stillness in the shape is a little more powerful for our bodies. Please step your right foot all the way up between your hands. And if it doesn't quite get there, then first put your hands on the blocks if you have blocks, if you wish to use your blocks. And second, you can reach back and grab your right ankle with your right hand to get it forward. Find your lunge, and again move forward and back. Drop through the hips, pull the chest through, and then inhale, rise up. Crescent lunge. So this is a really powerful medicine for the back leg because we're doing the opposite of all the sitting in our lives. And you can also make it a core pose. So drive your low ribs down and in a little bit. Feel a sense of zipping up through the core. Get just a little bit of a back bend, maybe a heart up. Your left hand's going to lead the way. So lower your left hand either to your block on the inside of your right foot or to the floor. Right arm to the sky. Back leg super straight, hands down, and step your back foot to the front. Inhale, halfway up. Forehead, crown of the head reaches across the room. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Shake everything out. Inhale from this bent knee stance. Rise up, press your palms, and pull the palms together over your heart. Open the arms. Inhale. Exhale, and fold from the hips. Inhale, halfway out. Fingers rest on your shins. And exhale, step your left foot to the back this time. So definitely wiggle to the front of your yoga mat. And step your left foot to the back from there so that your right foot's already close to the front. Good. This time let's lower down the back knee. So if you have a blanket, you can use your blanket under your back knee. You can also just fold your yoga mat over. Drop through the hips. Keep the back toes curled under. And reach up. Arms from the ears, lift the chest. This is our Anjaneyasana. So hips down, heart up. I like to imagine that I'm being pulled in 2 directions here. Hips heavy, chest lifted. So I'm getting some built-in spinal traction. And then when you exhale, this is another great time to bring your hands to the blocks. You're going to straighten your front leg to Ardha Hanumanasana, or half splits. Hanuman is the extraordinary monkey god who leapt from mainland India to Sri Lanka, back, hips back, heart forward. Spread your toes. Activate your quads. So this is similar to what I want you to do in downward facing dog, to open up your hamstrings. The more you activate the quads, the more it will open the hamstrings. And the more you activate the front of the shin by curling the toes up, the more you'll get length at the back of the calf. Okay, pull the head back a little bit more. So it's more about the legs than about the nose landing in a particular spot. And bend into your front knee. Set your blocks to the side. Step back. back to downward facing dog. Fingertips to the floor, hips back, and try that exact technique in downward facing dog. So activate your thighs, push them back, take the front of the shins and activate them by lifting your toes. It sounds like I'm asking you to go on your tiptoes, but it's the opposite. I'm trying to get you to put more weight in your heels, even if your heels are in the air. And also, spin your toes inward a little bit. So let your heels go out and your toes in, and back. It's going to be a really powerful way to balance your body. Good. Lower down to the knees or step your left foot all the way up between your hands. Again, you can have your blocks here as needed. And if your foot just comes part way, reach back, catch it, and drop down. Lower your back knee to the blanket or to the folded yoga mat. Or another technique is to roll to the front of the kneecap, and it might be a little more tolerable. We're going to inhale, reach up, and interlace the fingers in the opposite way. This is known as Kali Mudra, Kali, goddess of time and change. Hips down, heart up, tall through the spine. Exhale, hands to the blocks. Medium or tall position are awesome. You want your back leg to be vertical here. So set yourself up in whatever way feels really good. Activate the front quads, the front shin. Curl your toes back towards your eyes. Scoop the belly, lift the chest. Hips back a little. Yeah, good. And you can even turn them to the tall position. And you'll probably actually feel it more in your hip when you do that because you've got the support in your arms, so you can pull back a little more efficiently. That looks great. Good, you guys. Bend in. And let's step the back foot all the way to the front. Fold in half. Shake out your head. Bend your knees. Open your arms. Rise up, palms together overhead and over. Let's take it back to downward facing dog, and from down dog, we'll move through some hip movement. Okay. So find your downward facing dog. And on your next inhale, reach your right leg up, three-legged dog. On your exhale, draw your right knee towards your right wrist. Wiggle the left foot back a little bit. Feel free to use your block or your blanket under your hip or your bolster. And on your inhale, lift your chest. On your exhale, fold forward. Rest your forehead on the back of your hands. And you can shimmy a little right and left here, even if you have the block underneath of you. This is what I call a lazy pigeon pose. And it's pretty similar to the shape we did in the beginning of the class when we just had one knee pull into the chest for a moment. Feel the breath in the back of your body. And on your inhale, look forward. Set your hands to frame the front knee. Lift up. This is a great place to engage your core ever so slightly. Pull your toes under and back. Rise up and back down with facing dog. Left leg is going to rise. Three-legged dog with the left leg, and create a long line of energy from your fingertips out through that heel, outer hip down. Draw the knee all the way to the left wrist. Feel free to glide your right leg back. Lift your heart for a moment. And exhale, fold forward. So give yourself the support that you need here, and a couple of things you might want or need are block under your hip. If you have a bolster, you can take your bolster right under your belly and rest in the bolster. It's quite nice. And if you're experiencing feels uncomfortable, then just come on out of this shape. Isn't it nice with the bolster there? Good, a couple of breaths into the back of your body. Just feeling the kidney area broaden with your breath. Back to either side of your front foot, your front knee, and lift up and back, downward facing dog. From down dog, please lower your knees to the ground, cross at your shins, cross at your calves, sit back and bring your feet in front of you. So you can wiggle your feet a little bit further in front. And go ahead and lower yourself down onto your back again. Draw your knees into your chest and rock a little side to side. Sit your left foot down, crossing right ankle over the left knee. And you're going to reach your right arm between the leg, maybe catching with your left hand the front of the left shin or the back of the left thigh. And draw it in and rock a little side to side. With your right foot, make it active. So curl your toes back towards the knee, spread the toes a little bit so that right leg's really active. A lot of times, tightness and discomfort in the low back stems from poor hip mobility and or stability. And the two of those need to be coupled and plentiful to create a strong, stable pelvis and a strong low back. So this is helping a little bit with the range of motion. Lower the left foot to the floor, releasing your hands, and set the right foot down to the floor. Widen the space between your feet so that your feet are like as wide as the yoga mat. And then just let your knees drop right and left. Right and left. If one side feels really good, hang out there. You're still on your back. And come back to center. And cross your left ankle over your right knee. Reach between the legs with your left hand. Yeah, draw it in. Feel that initial boundary, that initial stopping point. Make your foot really active. Both of your feet is fine, but especially the left foot, the one that's on top. So you want those toes to spread wide, the toes to curl back towards the knee. The arms are gently pulling in and rocking, maybe just the slightest bit side to side. But there's an activity here. A little bit more rocking side to side. Please release your top foot, release the hands, let your right foot come down to the floor. And again, set your feet nice and wide to the edges of the yoga mat. Drop the knees completely to the right and completely to the left. Drop over to the right again and stay there for 3 breaths. So both knees fully down to the ground. Use your blocks or your blanket or your bolster underneath the legs as needed. I'll take it to the other side, nice and slow, with the knees flop over to the other side, fully relaxed. So we're getting more hip opening, a little bit of a spinal twist, and my favorite, just general motion is lotion. Allow the jaw to be slack. And start to begin to scan the body here. shape. Draw your knees into your chest, back to neutral and into your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. And we'll have a short Savasana. So if at any point you want to change the position of your Savasana, you can. I'm going to give you a few options. So the one that's the most active but also quite restorative, you can slide a block under your hips and extend your legs to the sky. It really only works if you have pretty open hamstrings and if your legs can go pretty straight. Otherwise, it's not particularly restful. If you have a wall where you could turn and you could orient yourself, so you guys here in the room, you could find a wall and put your legs up the wall and actually just enjoy this shape. Number 2, you could come into a knees open Baddha Konasana. So supine cobbler's pose, I recommend having your blocks under each thigh at an angle. So if you can see here, I've slid the block in just at a little bit of an angle. Inner edges of the feet, soles of the feet are touching one another. Hands can be on your belly or out to the sides. And you want the blocks in enough, close enough, so you don't feel like you're getting like a deep stretch here, that you're getting the support that you need. Shavasana is for rest instead of stretch. And finally, you can come flat on your back. And if you're flat on your back, it's often nice for the low back to have something like a bolster or a blanket under your knees. And in fact, it's even a little bit more under your thighs than under your knees. So if this didn't feel like a good release for your low back, you could even kick your bolster up at an angle and try to get a little bit more. I don't know if that worked here, but try to get a little bit more. Let your eyes close and palms down on your belly or palms up on either side of you. Begin to notice your mind. Begin to notice your breath. We have some sounds in the background today. And instead of seeing it as a challenge, let's see it as an opportunity to stay really focused, to stay present. To notice your inhale, your exhale, your inhale, your exhale. And if at any point you catch yourself thinking about the future or the past, return to the body, return to the present moment through your breath, through a focus on your breath. We have these few precious moments that when our lives are harried and hurried, we desire so deeply to have rest, to be still, to pause. And when we have this opportunity to rest, we sometimes forget how deeply we want this. The bones be heavy. The muscles drape over the bones. Skin like a heavy blanket. next inhale be slightly longer than the last. The exhale be complete. Follow the prana or life force of your breath all the way to your fingers and to your toes, wiggling and waking up. Stretch long through your limbs. And then draw your knees one at a time into your chest. Give yourself a well-deserved hug. Gently rock side to side. And we're going to rock and land on the right side. Eyes still closed. Gently press up with your arms. Go into a comfortable seat. If your bolster or blocks are there, you can kind of swipe them out of the way. Let's place our palms together over the heart. Anjali Mudra. And then bring our thumbs to the third eye point, asking for kindness in our thoughts. Thumbs to the chin or lips.